I want to welcome you to this first video in what will be a series of videos in our docu-series, Memories Set in Stone, hosted by myself, Kristen, for Bekah and Friends Foundation. I felt like our first video should be the person that brought us to where we are today, and that is Bekah. Bekah is my daughter. Bekah was born March 8th, 1998 at about 3:20 in the afternoon. She was only 7 pounds and 17 inches long. She was very short, not very big, and she had a ton of hair. To the point, in order to take her home, we had to put a little hairbrush right here to keep her bangs out of her face. Bekah was a good baby. She was also a good toddler. After the 9/11 attacks, about a year after, I lost my job locally. Being a truck driver, I was forced to make the tough decision to go out on the road with no jobs here at home. It was just a very tough time for me. And making the decision to go out on the road without my children for 6 years was extremely difficult. During that time, I did talk to my children daily. I made sure that my youngest did not forget me, and my youngest is Bekah. And it was a rough time, but we made it through it. And I had remarried at the time, or just after going out on the road. And we were trying to just put our lives back together. After 6 years, came back off of the road. But while I was on the road, Bekah got into Girl Scouts. She got into an after-school program of cheerleading and dance. She enjoyed that so much. She stopped with the Girl Scouts and stuck with the cheerleading, went head first, punched fear in the face, and just went to it. She has multiple trophies. I'm going to guess there's 10 or 12 trophies, multiple plaques, and lots of pom-poms. Cheerleading was just her thing. And then the day came when my husband, my second husband, passed away. And Bekah came home from school to find him. Life really got tough then, because it was the first time she had really experienced death close to her. She had developed a close relationship with my husband, Jerry. And just the pure trauma of her finding him was a lot on her. As a teenager, as she grew into her teenage years, she was on the road with me. After my husband died, I had no choice but to go back to the road, and this time she came with me. For 2.5 years, she was homeschooled on the truck. She did really well. She could have done better, but, you know, it's just a strong-willed girl. Bekah was a fun-loving teenager. In her lifetime, she had only had 2 boyfriends, and one she was really too young to even consider him a boyfriend, but, you know, you could always tell that she really liked him, and that was Derek. They were in elementary school. They had the same class year after year, and they loved to hate each other, it seemed like. And then when she got into middle school, I had taken a job that allowed me to be home more, and she came off the truck and went back to school to be normal and live a normal life. And that was our life in Oklahoma. And during that time, she made lots of friends, and she had a second boyfriend, Garrett. for a short time. I don't know, maybe a couple of 3 months. And then we moved back to Wichita in July of 2012. Bekah was 14 at the time. Leading up to September 11th, 2012, the couple of weeks leading up to that, Bekah was not feeling good. She was very sleepy, but sleeping very, having a very hard time sleeping. She was having some back pain and some hip pain. I knew something was wrong, but just didn't know what. So I made an appointment with the doctor. Now, up to this point, Bekah had been a very healthy child. She didn't have any health issues growing up. She had had some dental issues, but other than that, she was a very healthy kid. Took her to the doctor on the morning of September 11th, 2012. And within 2 minutes of the doctor entering the room, he found a football size tumor in her tummy. His first question was, "Are you pregnant?" Bekah's head turned towards me. She was laying on the exam table. And I said, "Are you pregnant?" And I wanted her to tell me she was. And she said, "No, I'm a virgin, Mom." I said, "Okay." So it became fear. Fear came over both of us. Doctor ordered a series of tests, blood work, sonograms, you name it. We had a lot of tests to go through. The doctor called us back the next day to let us know that she had a very large solid mass in her abdomen. We knew it was big because the doctor had put his hands into her tummy on both sides of this tumor. And his description was, this is about a 4-month pregnancy, about the size of a 4-month pregnancy. Bekah's battle was short. She went through 4 rounds of chemotherapy, 3 surgeries, multiple procedures, 2 blood transfusions. She struggled in some way with some issues, but for the most part, she had a smile on her face and she did everything she could to stay strong. They gave her 60 days when they gave us her diagnosis, and that was stage 4 ovarian carcinoma. At the 60-day mark, she was still alive, but just after the 60 days, about a week, 8 days after that 60-day mark, they sent her home on hospice. There was nothing more they could do. Her cancer had spread to every major organ that she had, and she lost her ability to eat. Her stomach was filling up with fluid. It was a very big struggle the last days. Bekah passed away at home on December 12th, 2012. All of us were surrounding her, and she was just 14. Our lives have completely changed. I struggle still today to get out of bed, but I do try, and I do function for the most part. But there are days I don't know that I can figure out how I function. But Bekah's loss was a huge hit to all of us as family. It was on the day that she came home from on hospice that the idea of Bekah and Friends Foundation was born. I, at the time, did everything I could to entertain her, but I didn't think I would do it. And December 12th, 2012 was the day that any new memories came to an end. So 5 days after Bekah passed away is when she was buried. And here is where new memories stop. So that concludes the first part of our series. We wanted to start this off with what brought us here today, and that was losing Bekah. Her battle and her loss has been devastating for the family, but especially for myself. 8 years later, I still struggle to get out of bed. And I'm not alone. There are many parents out there that face this, and they visit their kids in a cemetery. So I hope that you found this to be something that you can pass along. So I encourage you to share, click the thumbs up, and leave a comment if you choose. We would love to hear from you. And thank you for joining us. And we will see you on the next video. Peace.